Hello and welcome to the Otaku Network podcast. My name is Steve.
And I'm David.
And we are into week 8 of the spring season of 2024. So we'll get right into it with our first show, Seiyuu Radio. So this week starts where last week left off, where we have Yasumi contemplating her future as a voice actor, standing at the bridge in the rain. Later that evening, she has an emergency meeting with her manager to discuss the failings of the recording session for the mecha anime that she was added into. Her manager tries to encourage her by having her re-examine how she's practicing for her role and how she presents it as a voice actor, recognizing that she pushed herself too hard to study for it, making it come out forced. So she told her, kind of rely on how you went through it unknowingly during the audition to achieve a more natural result in how you do the role. At school, her best friend notices that she's down as well, so decides that the best thing to do to cheer her up will be inviting her out to karaoke. A bunch of the class starts joining in, and her friend kind of prods her and asks her to invite Chika along as well. Yasumi jumps at the idea and essentially forces Chika to join them. We then switch to seeing the gaggle of teenagers doing karaoke in a giant karaoke room. Chika is definitely keeping to herself and apparently is not enjoying herself. In an attempt to get some sort of reaction out of her, Yasumi decides to do a performance of a theme song that Chika has done for a previous anime. This triggers something in the gloomy girl. She counters by doing the same thing with one of Yasumi's theme songs. Everybody in the room is excited that they get to witness real-life, semi-known voice actors doing their trade. The girls feed off of the excitement and decide to redo one of their duets that they've done for an anime in the past. Afterwards, there's a little bit of alone time between the two girls, a little awkward back and forth. Things get a little bit heated when they begin to discuss Yasumi's failings at the recording session, and flustered with frustration, maybe a little bit of embarrassment, Chika forces a gift at Yasumi. The gift is actually some DVDs of her father's previous work that she figured would help Yasumi to study to help her get into her role more naturally. New Year's passes, and it is time for another recording session for the anime. Yasumi took both Chika's advice and her manager's advice to heart, and she goes into the recording session more confident and does a good job. She gets praised by everybody that's with her. She's feeling good, pretty confident. The script director comes out, tells her that was better than last time, but she's not there yet to where he needs her to be. She needs to ratchet it up a little bit more and to not be complacent. Not willing to take this as a negative comment or an attack on her ability, she asks if it's still possible to re-record her lines from the previous session. He agrees to it. Chika interjects because she wants to join in as well, feeling a bit of encouragement to try to improve her abilities as well. A couple of the other cast members join in, and they work to redo the session that they'd done last time before Christmas. That's kind of where the episode ends. We have a renewal and a reinforcement of the competitiveness between the two girls, where at one point, Yasumi says that she hates Chika.
She doesn't say she hates her. She just says, I don't like you.
Okay, yeah. She says she doesn't like her, and she's embarrassed and angry at herself for doing such a piss-poor job at her voice acting session in front of the person she dislikes the most, which is Chika. Though at this point, honestly, I don't think we can really consider them enemies.
Yeah.
They get along way too well.
Yeah, they're
barely frenemies, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
They just have pseudo-lover spats.
I was going to say, basically lovers. Especially with the funny comment where Chika's like, I find myself rather comfortable alone with you.
Yeah, after the karaoke, where they're kind of like together in one of the alcove
and
areas.
Yasumi's just like, huh? What? And she's like, don't make it weird.
Yeah, it was almost like it was a benign...
it's like a confession.
Yeah, like a benign confession almost.
Yeah.
Or something that could be misinterpreted as a confession of affection and love.
And oh boy, weren't you so glad you were wrong about the fan service this episode?
I was. No, it was great. They just ignored Christmas itself. They ignored New Year's. That was just a timepiece for before and after. So the before part was Yasumi in the pits of despair, wondering if she should even continue being a voice actor. And then through the encouragement between her manager and from Chika, she finds confidence she needed, post New Year's during that recording session to do a better job than she had done previously.
Yeah. No, it was a really good episode. I really enjoyed the karaoke. That was funny.
I'm just glad that they didn't spend too much time singing songs.
Yeah.
That's one thing that usually annoys me in anime, when they take a chunk of time out to have voice actors, in my perspective, because I'm embarrassed to watch it happen, sing theme songs.
Fair.
That's just me, though.
I did think it was funny when they first walked into the karaoke studio.
That room is huge. Holy crap.
One is huge, but Yasumi, Chika, and...
Oh, that's right. Otome
were the ones that were like, welcome to this karaoke bar.
Yeah, there was a promo spot that was playing on the TV that the three girls had recorded, more than likely in conjunction with the Sisters anime that they're currently doing.
Yeah.
To try to promote
their new single.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was really funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was really funny to see that come up, and you're just like, oh, how convenient. They walk into this karaoke studio, and then, look, it's them on the TV. Make all your friends jealous. Or adore you, or whatever.
Yeah, none of the classmates knew what they did outside of school until very recently. This may have fermented it sinking in for their classmates that we're actually working with people who provide voices for anime and sing songs that we know, like semi-celebrities.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to change some of the people's, like, now that it's truly set in, because they walk in and they're like, oh my God, they're actually in an advertisement on the screen. That's right. They really just do this. And then they're doing it for us. Like,
starstruck.
Yeah, we're blessed. No, it was a good episode. We'll see what the next one brings us. Because again, we're at a point where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, there's the her getting to that level that the script director really wants.
And with the past two episodes, since we were distracted from the whole casting couch fiasco, we have returned to the competition between the two girls.
Yeah.
To be professionals and to try to better themselves and be better than the other one.
We got like 3 more episodes.
We do. We'll see what happens.
We're gonna see if they resolve it.
Maybe. It could just end.
Guess what? Season 2 that you're never gonna get.
Yeah, no. Thanks for watching the show. Please pick up the copies of the manga to see, or the light novel to see what the rest of the story goes.
No, overall good show. Good soup. This week on Remonster, the disappointment kind of let up a little bit. We get the gang of Parabellum arriving at a human, I think it's like a human outskirts city, where they find that there are a bunch of metahumans. Oguro is convinced that this is probably a good place for his merry band of meta monsters, if you will, to try and establish contact with humans. At first, the humans are very put off by Oguro, as he is an ogre, and humans don't like ogres very much. But his harem talk them down and are like, look, he's okay. He's a cool guy. And some shenanigans happens within the city. The girls all go and are told to decide whether you want to stay with Parabellum or if you want to reintegrate into human society. While this is all happening, Oguro goes out, and we find out that he can disguise himself as a human, and he's got
transmogrification abilities.
And he takes on the form of his old human form, which
Dami didn't react.
Didn't react at all. So who knows what's up with that?
Yeah.
Maybe they just forgot that whole plot point. And as he's going around, he finds a group of muggers that try to steal his money, and then he kills them and eats them because that's what he do, and finds that each of them are wearing a ring. He, for some reason, puts that ring on, and then hears more kerfuffle out in the main street as he finds a knight being bullied by more of these guys with the rings on. He ends up helping the knight and finds out that a princess of this kingdom has been captured by this group of thugs. He is then guilted into helping and goes and, with this knight, finds the hideout of these guys, which is an old baron's house or something.
It's like an abandoned mansion.
Yeah, it's like an abandoned mansion of some lord that lived in this town. And he barges in, kicks all their butts, frees the princess, and then uses like Men in Black mind wipey powers with the hypnosis ball that one of his metahumans has.
Yeah, one of the people that joined the crew in the last.
Yeah, he has like hypnosis,
something,
and he
like
makes
that,
the knight forget.
Yes.
Well, forget, because the next day the princess is like, I want to know who saved me. And so I came and found the guy that saved me because she's a rambunctious squirt.
The princess is suspicious.
Princess is very suspicious.
Very suspicious.
She then demands that Oguro and his band take her to the main capital.
In lieu of her retinue.
And yeah, in lieu of her retinue.
Yeah.
Because she thinks her retinue is boring. And so her and the knight, well, actually, before he even decides to take her, for the saving of her last night, they give him a gold plate, which is apparently worth like 1 billion gold.
No.
They try to give him a gold.
No. The gold plate is what she said his payment would be if they accompany her back to the castle.
I thought...
No, that's the reward she's willing to pay him to be her bodyguard during the journey back home.
In the day, I don't care that much.
Yeah. This gold plate's worth like a ridiculous amount of money. They summed it up like you could buy a small country or something like that with the worth of it. Or
Yeah.
small town, something like that. It's worth a lot of money, and everybody's like, you need to take this job.
It's ridiculous. And so after the money was waggled in front of Oguro, he's like, cool, I'm going to do this. Agrees to take the princess. They go out to start heading towards the capital, and cue hunting montage where they hunt a bunch of stuff.
They hunt buffalo on the range.
Yes, they hunt buffalo on the range. They find turtle snakes and eat those.
Yeah, they have a smorgasbord of... It's like Delicious in Dungeon, but for a terrible story instead of an enjoyable story.
Exactly. And then the penultimate confrontation of the episode is when they are passing through some craggy mountains, and they find that there are these basically super deadly eagles. But there's Phrygian eagles or whatever.
Yeah. It's like a super...
There's Phrygian eagles, and then their big boss is the Jade Eagle.
Yeah.
And Oguro just kills it. He loses an arm and a leg, but then he re-eats his arm and his limbs grow back because he can heal himself.
Yeah, so when they hit the pass, everybody's like, there are these things here and they're really dangerous. We should just go around them. And Oguro, seeking more abilities, is like, we're going to go through and I'm going to fight the shit out of them. So then he's like, he wants the boss to show up because he's intrigued in what it can do. And purposely prolongs the battle with the boss just to see what its abilities are. Bringing me back to the idea of why he decided to pretty much fight the bug boy in the last episode naked. He was testing the waters.
I hate him. And so he finally realizes everything he can do. He basically one-shots it like an overpowered RPG character.
Eats the bird, no problem.
Eats it and collects another god blessing like he's he's collecting fucking chaos emeralds.
Yes.
So now he has the blessing of the healing god and the storm god and a couple other, like, he grows wings now and like bird wings, not bug wings. And he's
just more powering up, and he's on his way to the
and then
kingdom.
the little princess is like, why do you eat everything? And he's like, because it's kill or be killed. And then he put his sunglasses on and he rides off into the sunset. That actually didn't happen, but
it could have.
It could have.
It very much could have.
With the way his response was, it literally summed up was just, it's kill or be killed, kid, and I'm gonna kill everything.
He is very much is killing everything. He's a completionist.
He's the fucking worst. He's trying to 100% this MMO.
He is definitely an achievement hunter.
He's an achievement whore. Oh, we also forgot when he spanked the princess because she scared the two blonde cook girls because they were holding a knife, and so he doled out punishment to a princess.
Yeah, I didn't understand anything of the interactions with the princess. And
she likes to sit on his shoulder.
It was really weird. The whole princess thing was really weird, but it's just a plot device to move him to a different location, I guess, at this point.
She is just a plot device.
I think there's a little bit more to her than what they're alluding to.
I think she's a plot device.
Well, we'll find out as the show goes on.
I will admit, though, this episode was slightly more entertaining.
It flowed rather smoothly. It went from point A to point B to point C in a good pace.
Yeah, it was like actually a coherent anime story for once.
Yeah. The art got really bad.
The art did get really bad.
It was really bad in this episode. Oh my god.
Yes.
The fights, those were so terribly animated.
Yes.
It was astounding. Like, Jesus Christ.
God, it's like we get either good art but terrible story, or we get a decent story and the art just becomes a 2-year-old drew it.
Well, I don't think it's that Remonster has ever had like high quality art. It's just been clean.
Right.
The palette is really plain.
I'm very much pressing the definition of good art when I say good art.
Okay.
It's not boring.
No.
It's not Seiyuu Radio with the weird
Character designs?
with the weird character jaws or snouts or whatever. Now that you've pointed it out, I can never not
You
see
can never
them.
not see the way their faces look in profile.
Yup, and it
so
annoys the shit out of me.
I'm sorry I ruined that for you.
Makes me cringe every time I get a side profile of one of the characters. I'm like, no.
Which they do
Steve.
all the time.
I know.
Yeah, so this episode of Remonster was definitely a cleansing of normalcy compared to the past couple episodes that have just been ridiculous.
There was no sweet dick music.
There was no
It
sweet
was
dick
refreshing.
music. The fight with the bird was dumb, but it's like, yeah, at least he admitted this time that he was just fucking around.
It's gonna get to a point where he fucks around and he's gonna find out. Or he won't, and I'll just be disappointed for the rest of my life.
I don't think he'll find out ever. We'll see what next episode brings. We'll see if it's just more of Journey, or if he finally gets to the kingdom and has to face the leader of the enemy army in person with one of his children in tow.
With the pacing of this, I really, really think they're just gonna get there.
Like the
Like the rest of the journey is just gonna be skipped over, and he's just gonna get to the castle.
There's a really good chance that the next episode will begin with a little bit of a montage and a voiceover talking about the rest of the journey, and then they'll be at the gates of the castle.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
right before the credits drop.
It's gonna be like a minute and a half, and
Yeah.
then intro sequence.
Yep. So we found out in this week's episode of Astro Note that Aoi remembers everything that happened while she was being possessed by the hubbies. She's chalking it all up to her being trashed. Things are pretty awkward between Aoi, Mira, and Takumi from the events that happened during the typhoon. Breakfast gets a little bit awkward. Before we can get further with that, Tomohiro confronts Ren about a slip that he's been hiding from his father. That is a slip for an upcoming parent conference day at school. Ren is blatantly hiding it from his deadbeat dad because he does not want his deadbeat dad to show up again and embarrass him. Because apparently the last time he showed up, he was wearing shorts, a t-shirt, and flip-flops, and then hitting on Ren's friend's mother.
And he was hungover.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was
And
hungover.
vomited in the bathroom.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah.
Anyways,
He said you were hungover and you vomited in the bathroom and then hit on my friend's moms. So he hit on them post vomiting.
in short, Tomohiro is persistently a piece of shit, and Ren does not want him anywhere near anybody he knows. After breakfast, we have Naosuke trying to console Aoi because Aoi is devastated in a variety of things, but mostly related to she recognizes that Takumi probably is not interested in her, let alone doesn't even remember who she was. Shoin comes and picks up Mira, does his very best to get her on track to find the key to the throne of the Wid. She is quite distracted.
Very distracted.
She has settled in rather comfortably in the role of a human caretaker of a share house. And she's enjoying all of her mundane tasks and just wishes that she never had to deal with the rules and the regulations of the Imperial Court ever again. Shoin thinks some of this may be due to her having growing affection for our boy Takumi. Naosuke continues to play matchmaker and just straight up tells Takumi that Aoi used to work with him, and then lays into him about how mean he's been to her.
And that she has feelings for him.
Yeah, which floors Takumi, and Naosuke gives him an ultimatum of, look, you need to either figure it out, or if you're not interested in her, you need to let her know so this will stop going on and get worse for her.
Look at Naosuke caring. I love him.
Oh my god, yeah.
I loved him this episode.
Ren's pretty fed up with his dad, so he runs away
To Mira's room.
to live in Mira's room, much to Naosuke's terror and horror.
He very much chagrins this update.
Yeah. He's like, that's the last thing I want to do is have to continue to act like a dog around this kid all the time.
Did you notice that when Ren was talking to Mira and he says, I'm living with you, Naosuke just shakes his head?
Yeah. There were a lot of non-verbal cues from Naosuke all through this episode in a variety of situations.
Yes, it was hilarious.
Terako comes upon Takumi as he's kind of struggling with everything revolving around Aoi and forces him to take her out for drinks at an izakaya, where, he tells her what's on his mind, and she pretty much tells him, you're an idiot. We all know what's going on. We don't understand why it's taken you this long to realize what's going on, but you need to figure your life out, buddy.
He's very oblivious.
Yeah, for many of things throughout this series.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, the flying car, that was probably the top.
He's kind of an airhead. He's a himbo.
I think he's just mono-focused.
He probably hyper-focused on something.
He's a single-task person, I think, is how it goes. We've seen it. Like when the one time when he was trying to break out of his first depression, and he made all of that food because he just didn't realize what he was doing until it was done.
Oh, yeah, like the massive amount of potato salad.
Yep. Or how he bought all of them, those squid.
Yep.
So Mira confronts Tomohiro about his son, and we find out some interesting information. Tomohiro is not Ren's biological father.
I know, that floored me.
Tomohiro had been dating Ren's mother, and then she passed away from an undisclosed illness. And Tomohiro had developed a strong enough bond, at least in one direction, for the boy, that instead of seeing him go away to an orphanage, he decided to become his legal guardian with Mira's father's help.
So it turns out Tomohiro isn't as a big a piece of shit as we originally...
So Tomohiro, at this point, has two things that he lives for. Being as lazy as possible and trying to ensure that Ren has a stable upbringing, which conflict with each other, though.
I know.
At the time of this conversation, which happened in Tomohiro and Ren's room, Ren was actually hiding in the closet and overheard all of this. And this is probably the first time that he's been exposed to his adoptive father's deeper feelings. So Ren kind of mulls over this and decides that, he wants to make up with Tomohiro. Lets him know that it's okay for him to come to the parent conference. That's going to happen, just as long as he doesn't hit on any of his friends' mothers. Takumi invites Aoi out for a picnic, and he does it as a way to try to soften the blow of him telling her that he's not interested in her, that he's interested in Mira. She takes it
surprisingly well.
Well, I mean, she's already suspected this for a while.
Right.
And I think this is, for her, it just closed that chapter, and now she can work on moving forward.
Right. It did help. I think what softened the blow a lot is that Takumi did eventually recognize her.
Yeah, well, it took essentially him getting beaten on the head with it. Like, she didn't tell him that Naosuke told him for a couple of reasons.
But he still didn't believe that he recognized or knew who she was.
Yeah.
Until he saw her eating the rice ball.
That's right, yeah.
And then he's like, oh my God, it's Miss Rice Ball.
Yep, because the memory of their essential only meeting when they worked together from the rooftop came flooding back to him because he had given her the moniker of Miss Rice Ball because she was eating a giant rice ball at the time.
Yeah.
We also find that out that Aoi is an orphan.
Yeah, and that her dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that was interesting.
We don't know why her dad's a piece of shit.
Probably because he abandoned her to an orphanage.
She also said that he did terrible things.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Because Ren asked.
Oh, she did, yeah.
She said, like, he did really bad things, and that's probably why she's an orphan. He might be a criminal.
He may be in prison.
Yeah, he might be in prison.
Yeah,
he might be a criminal.
Good chance of that.
And that's why she was put into an orphanage.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, because I think she said her mother died, right?
Yeah, and if your only other guardian is in prison, they put you in an orphanage. What are you to do? At least that's what happens here in the United States.
So we kind of end the episode with Aoi
having a positive outlook on life.
Yeah, no. But Octo has now taken on a physical form.
Shoin.
Because for whatever reason, Shoin was in room 8, and she sees him come out of the room, and suddenly a light bulb goes off in her head, thinking that Shoin is really the person that's been guiding her through this whole event. So I think she now has a new romantic attachment.
And he's not going to know who the fuck she is, and it's going to emotionally scar her. I was like, no, girl. No, you just abandoned the man that didn't know you.
This was... every week this show gets better and better, and this was such a good episode.
I know, the plot just keeps getting thicker and thicker. You're just like... We finally got some really useful background information, and not background information that there wasn't any hint of. The reality between the relationship of Tomohiro and Ren. Mm-hmm.
And then adjacent to that, we received some background information about Aoi and her childhood. There was so much good content in this show, and just like the plots that we worked through were really good. And now we're pushing ourselves, I think, towards the end game of the confrontation of the hubbies and really trying to find this key.
Yeah. Also, I'm so proud of her character development.
Everyone's
from Aoi,
except for Takumi's, but yes,
Aoi very specifically.
Yeah.
In the fact that she goes from a complete recluse.
Yep.
That speaks to no one and no one even knows she exists. To when someone asks her if she can help and like actively communicate with people. She's like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, and like
she sits down and helps Ren do arithmetic.
And then showing up for the communal breakfast where
Yeah,
she had...
every day in this episode, she showed up for the communal breakfast. She showed up for the communal dinner.
Yep. And then now she had after this stuff with Takumi, she's building up resolve to resume her life and get out into the world again.
Yeah, I'm super proud of her. Tomohiro and Ren's like character development this episode
that was so good.
So huge.
Oh, I loved every minute of that.
At the very end of the episode, you can see Ren's understanding as to why Tomohiro can be so overbearing sometimes. Because at the end of the day, he truly loves this kid.
Yes.
Because this kid is not even his.
Yep.
He had zero connections to this child besides...
Zero responsibility for the child.
Right. He has zero responsibility for this child. But because of his love for Ren's mom, he transferred that love over to Ren.
Yes.
And it's like, oh my God, Tomohiro's not a piece of shit.
No, he's still a piece of shit.
Okay. He's not a piece of shit in the sense of him and Ren's relationship. He has care. He has feelings. He just is also lazy.
He does the bare minimum to provide for Ren's safety and security.
I don't think it's the bare minimum.
He gives him a roof over his head and food.
He does genuinely care, though.
Because as Tomohiro was talking about in this episode, he does work random day jobs when he's low on cash. But beyond an immediate need of we are going to die from starvation, he has no motivation to actually provide anything more for him or his son.
Fair. But I am trying to make Tomohiro's arc in this episode important. Because it is.
It was good.
You see that in this pile of dookie that is Tomohiro, there are feelings.
Yes.
And there is a deep-rooted love for this kid that he now calls his son.
And then Ren has a modicum of respect for Tomohiro. Not a lot.
Right. Because he is still a piece of shit.
But there's more respect for him than we've seen the entire show.
The only people we really haven't seen much character development in this show are Teruko and Shochiki and Takumi.
No, I mean, we've seen smatterings of Takumi's background and motivations.
But character development.
Correct. Takumi really is a blank canvas. He really is. He is the weakest of the characters. He really doesn't have a lot of personality, honestly.
Even in my opinion, I think Naosuke has had a great amount of character development.
Oh my God, Naosuke has been great.
Where it's really starting to seem like he actively cares about the people in the house too.
Yeah, which I know he regrets.
Because
he has his duties to the throne.
But he desperately cares about Aoi.
Yeah.
And it's starting to seem like he even cares about Takumi a little bit.
Perhaps. So
I think, and well, the best part of this episode was Ren telling Aoi about Naosuke and that he's actually a cat.
Ren thinks Naosuke is just a cat because he saw him chasing what he thought was a mouse. And I think it would have been when the first time the
hubby showed up.
First time the morphic robot of the hubby showed up, when it was transforming before it just decided to settle into the pelican body, which we haven't seen for a while. We've only been seeing the squid.
We also find that Aoi's afraid of dogs and doesn't like Naosuke.
Yeah, she doesn't like Naosuke at all.
Actually, we knew that because in the flashback, people would have their dogs bark at Aoi.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
And that scared the shit out of her. I didn't remember it until we were talking about it just now.
Okay.
But it does make sense as to why she's scared of dogs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like people's big, like, German Shepherd-ass dogs. They would just let them bark at Aoi.
Oh, when she was living on the streets?
Yes.
Yeah, well.
Because they were messing with her because she was poor and homeless.
Great episode. It looks like from the preview next episode, we're going to get some more digging into Teruko's past, which will be good.
Yes.
I'd like to understand Tomohiro's position as well. Why is he just this degenerate shithead?
Yeah, why is he so adamantly against working?
So adamant against being a productive member of reality.
Fuck working.
Yeah. Yeah, next episode should be good. We got what looks like background information on Teruko, and the hubbies apparently will be stepping up their game. So we'll probably get a little bit more into that as well.
I'm so excited.
And something tells me we may see Mira come to terms with her feelings over Takumi and her conflicting desires, or her desires conflicting with her responsibility. Much like her mother, when her mother showed up post-World War II, and just like, this is great, I love being here, pretending to be a human where I don't have any responsibilities. Mira's following the same route. I mean, it can't last forever, but who knows?
At least Mira's half human.
Yeah, but she still has her responsibility to the throne with all the weight of galactic peace resting upon her ascension, according to Naosuke.
You know what? Fuck galactic peace. We in this for a good love story.
She would rather let intergalactic war persist because she enjoys the feeling of an air-dried futon.
Yeah, honestly, same. Star Wars could break out and,
You'd be like, you know what? This couch is real comfy.
This couch is real comfy. My bed feels real good today.
Overall, it was a pretty good week. All the shows, the shows were not disappointing. For Remonster, that's a really low bar.
I know. We slightly came off the ground.
Yeah. Seiyuu Radio.
Actually, no, we were so into the ground that we're coming out of the ground now.
We wiped the dust off. Seiyuu Radio was good. Thankfully, we didn't get what I feared, which was obnoxious fan service. We got continuing development of the actual central plot of the story, which is the conflicting personalities of the two girls and then an inherent competition that they are trying to foster. Fantastic. Love it. It was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Remonster did not disappoint in the manner that it wasn't degenerate and a waste of time.
Yeah, it was the actual plot. There was an actual plot.
Yeah, like the story moved forward. There was still a gratuitous amount of just power gaming.
Yeah.
We'll see what next week has in store for us. And I think this week's episode of Astro Note was the best so far of this show.
We say that every week.
Because each week it keeps getting better.
I know.
But this one above and beyond, all the notes it hit, all the different story points that it moved so quickly and covered so much ground and did it in such a well-paced manner.
Yeah, I feel you.
We saw a resolution of the Aoi and Takumi thing. We're returning again to Shoin trying to press upon Mira the importance of why she's on Earth. Naosuke inadvertently and remotely building a stronger rapport with Aoi than the entire relationship between Ren and Tomohiro, along with background of them. The only person we didn't really see anything for was Shochiki. We even had a good personal conversation between Takumi and Teruko when they were out at the izakaya. All in all, this was a stellar episode that covered so much ground.
Oh, wait.
Can't wait for more.
I know. Soon.
All right. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Thanks again for listening. And, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and spread the word and
share us with all your other degenerate weeb friends.
Yeah, all that other stuff.
Please.
And we will see you next week. Thanks for listening, guys.